And NFL reporter Jeremy Fowler. Let's talk about Vic Fangio's defense.
Yeah.
As we just heard, the Eagles lost 4 starters, got a lot of young guys there. Are they going to go out and try to make a move maybe late in the summer, or are they happy with what they have?
Well, Hannah, we're used to the Eagles making splash moves. Right now, they're content. That is not their MO. They have not spent big this offseason. They'd scaled back their books. They've already paid a lot of star players. And they're happy with their young guys, especially in the secondary. But I am looking at cornerback at least as a possibility as you get closer to camp. I'm going to point out Asante Samuel Jr. He's one of the top cornerbacks on the market, but he had a neck issue, had neck surgery. So he's going to get a checkup in late July, and then teams could get involved. So that's one that the Eagles have at least monitored in the past. But I'm told Keely Ringo they've really been happy with. Mac McWilliams, a young player. So they feel like they've drafted well enough that they don't have to force the issue with some sort of splash signing around free agency.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you have a young defense and you can spend money on the offensive stars that you want, it's not a bad formula. All right, it has been 20 years since the NFC East has had a repeat champion. We all know the Commanders are coming for everybody, right? So let's start there and what the other teams have done to, stay even or try to with the Eagles.
Yeah, we'll start with Jaden Daniels, Hannah. I mean, obviously the spotlight's going to be on him. Top 5, top 6 quarterback in the entire NFL now. So the Commanders feel like he's going to avoid that sort of sophomore slump that you see some quarterbacks go through because his sort of maniacal work ethic. He's a 5 a.m.er. He's in the building early. He's gotten a lot of work this offseason with Deebo Samuel. They believe that he can provide some easy yards for him on screen passes, handoffs, all that fun stuff. And they're going to have to get to work because Terry McLaurin, contract issue, could be a holdout unless they don't make progress on a new deal.
Yikes.
You see George Pickens there with Dallas. So the spotlight is on him because I've talked to a lot of people around the league, including the NFC East. That Pickens trade has their full attention. They believe that really does add a new dimension because he's one of the best contested ball catchers in the entire league. If he can stay on the upright, keep that maturity sort of in check in a contract year, could be big things with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. Then you got Jackson Dart. So I was told from somebody with the team that late in OTAs, things finally started to click for Dart as far as the mental portion of the game, learning the cadence, what Brian Daboll wants out of the offense, decision making. He carried that over into minicamp. So, look, they're taking it slowly. This is not a situation where he's going to be thrust into action early. They have Russell Wilson ready to go. But they feel like Dart established himself in 2 areas. He's a quick learner, and he's highly motivated.
He's got to be their quarterback of the future, right? I mean, he absolutely has to. There's a lot at stake there, front office, coaching, and the like.
Yeah.
But this was the right decision.
For sure. I would say, Hannah, when I talk to people inside team organizations about young quarterbacks, you can usually tell one of 2 things. Either they'll say, he's a project, things will go okay, or they'll be really excited about that player, like he's going to be really good.
Right.
It's the latter with the Giants. They really are excited about this guy, even if it's going to take some time.
That's great. It would be great for them. Meanwhile, ESPN Analytics gives the Eagles a 51% chance.
Rocking the star on his helmet, and with expectations as high as ever, the questions remain whether the additions will be enough to get Dallas above mediocrity. Here's Todd Archer with more.
It hit Dak Prescott in March.
Man on 3, 1, 2, 3, win!
He is now the longest tenured Cowboy.
It's amazing how fast it happens and not taking anything for granted.
I want to win a championship. The legacy, the things, whatever comes after I finish playing will take care of itself.
History is not on his side. Since 1980, only one quarterback, Ken Anderson with the Bengals in 1981, has taken their team to a Super Bowl for the first time and been their starter as long as Prescott.
They're not living up to the star.
They just are committed to mediocrity.
They're the Cowboys. They will fall.
The highest paid quarterback in NFL history, he has just 2 playoff wins. By this time in their careers, Cowboys Hall of Famers Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman had their combined 5 Super Bowl trophies. 2025 might be Prescott's last best shot. 3 first-round picks on the offensive line. CeeDee Lamb and newly acquired George Pickens are among the top wide receiver duos in the NFL.
Parsons covered! Parsons got it!
Micah Parsons might be the best defensive player in the league. If the Cowboys and Prescott don't get it done this year, the franchise's Super Bowl drought will reach 30 seasons. So, if not now, when?
For more on the Cowboys, we bring in our NFL insider, Jeremy Fowler. And George Pickens, a big offseason pickup for the Cowboys, made a good impression at minicamp just about a week or two ago on the field. What are people around the league saying about this Cowboys acquisition of George Pickens?
Yeah, I mean, this George Pickens trade has the league's full attention, particularly in the NFC East. People I've talked to in that division feel like he could tilt the field for Dallas and he'll be a major player because he is one of the best contested catchers in the league. Body contorted, things downfield. So he gives them a new dimension. The issue really in Pittsburgh was some of the maturity issues and some of those problems there. But a lot of it stems with Pickens of just wanting to get the ball, but not only that, but wanting the offense to move properly, having the passing game humming. And so Dallas has that with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb already. So he's walking into a good situation. Cowboys feel like he'll be highly motivated. He'll be on his best behavior in a contract year. So this could really pay off. This is a thing where Dallas has made a trade where people stopped and said, okay, this is a factor. And so it's really resonated league-wide.
Yeah, Pickens had 59 catches for 900 yards and 3 touchdowns last season. On the defensive end, Micah Parsons is rumored to be getting paid this offseason. What more can you tell us about a contract negotiation extensions right there?
Yeah, so it's quiet right now. It's sort of that slow time between now and training camp where there's not a lot of business going on. But Dallas wants to pay Micah Parsons. That's no secret. They are in on this. They know he's going to get a huge number. He's one of the very best pass rushers in the league. But the details here will be key. You've seen Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb in the past get 4-year deals with huge guarantees. Dallas typically in the past wanted to do 5-year deals. So it's about how far Micah Parsons wants to push the envelope. Is he going to want a shorter-term deal with really high guarantees, and is Dallas willing to do that? Those are all the details that they're going to hash out, and it will heat up closer to training camp, well into camp. Dallas likes to do these things in August, kind of later than some teams. Keep in mind also, they have a guard, Tyler Smith, one of the best guards in the league. They're watching the guard market closely. So Parsons is not the only player that they might have to pay here in the next coming months. He is eligible for a contract as well.
Well, we know that, Jeff, those Dragons were something else, huh? As we welcome in.
Skull Nation, we might be looking at one of the most shocking trades of the entire NFL offseason. While the Cowboys are reportedly locking in on Trey Hendrickson as their future pass rusher, guess what? The Minnesota Vikings are in active negotiations to bring Micah Parsons to the purple and gold. Yeah, I said it. Micah freaking Parsons. Let's break it all down. Talk about how realistic this is and what it would mean for our defense. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. So here's the deal. Micah Parsons is heading into the final year of his rookie deal, and things are getting weird in Dallas. No contract extension, no public commitment, just silence. Meanwhile, the Cowboys are reportedly targeting Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals, who's 30 years old on an expiring $21 million deal and cheaper than Parsons long term. That's the writing on the wall right there. If you're bringing in a veteran pass rusher like Hendrickson, you're probably preparing to move on from your current superstar, and that's where the Vikings come in. According to multiple sources, Minnesota has quietly entered the chat, and negotiations are happening. We've made calls, Dallas is listening, and from what I've heard, there's mutual interest between Parsons and the Vikings. The Cowboys may not want to hand him a $30+ million per year extension, but we might. And guess what? With McCarthy on a rookie deal, we actually can. It's aggressive, yeah, but that's how contenders operate. Let's be real. Micah Parsons is a generational defensive talent. Last year alone, 13.5 sacks, 75 pressures, 91.7 PFF pass rush grade, first team All-Pro. Again. You line him up opposite Dallas Turner, you've got 2 freak athletes coming off the edge. Add Jonathan Greenard rotating in, Ivan Pace flying around, Harrison Phillips stuffing the middle. Brian Flores would be cooking with fire. And this wouldn't just be about splash. Micah Parsons is elite against the run. He can drop in coverage when needed, and he'd instantly make our front 7 one of the most dangerous in the entire league. Now listen, this isn't cheap. Word is the Vikings would need to send a first-round pick and maybe a young player like DJ Wanham or even Makey Blackmon. But here's the thing, you don't find Micah Parsons in the draft every year. You don't even find him once a decade. Kwesi has said it over and over. If the right player is available, you go get him. This team isn't in rebuild mode. We've got JJ, Addison, Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, and now JJ McCarthy, who's protected by a solid O-line. You give that group a top-tier defense. That's a complete team. So here's where I stand. If you can land a 25-year-old All-Pro who's already proven at the NFL level and fits perfectly in our defensive scheme, you do it, period. I know it's expensive, I know it's risky, but championship windows don't last forever. Parsons changes the entire identity of this team. But now I want to hear from you. Would you send a first and a player to bring Micah Parsons to Minnesota? Or do you stay the course with the young guys and bet on development? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. Micah Parsons in a Vikings jersey. Man, I can already see it. No, 11 coming off the edge at US Bank Stadium. Crowd roaring, skull chant echoing through the walls. If this trade goes through, it might just be the biggest defensive move in Vikings history. So hit that like button, subscribe to Report Vikings, and turn on notifications. Because if this happens, we're going live. I'm Victor, and as always, Skull.